What's up, YouTube? You know who it is. Midwest Tour Review here, back again. Well, we struck gold once more, and I'm just going to get right into it and show you what we got. So, went out today, met with a guy who was selling some Snap-on sockets. This is the same guy that I picked up the wrenches from, the Mac wrenches, and we had already struck out a deal to get some sockets from him. But I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, he had another set. I really wanted that other set as well. And so we scored that all together. So what we got here is a set from 8 to 19. They're metric mid-length sockets, Snap-on, obviously impact grade. And I was looking at them. They are used. They're not abused. Some of them do have some light surface rust. This 10 millimeter has a little bit more than anyone else, but that's a simple wipe down with some penetrating oil and they'll be fine. But they're not mushroomed out, not too badly anyways. That one's probably one of the worst ones, and that's at 18 millimeter. Don't know what an 18 would have been used for. 19 I can understand. And you can see, this is what I'm talking about with Snap-on. That was used on a 3/8 drive impact gun, and look how the anvil end just wallers out, as they say. And I don't, before I knew how to manage that, I used to, or in terms of warranting out the sockets when they get too bad, because what happens is, I know that they have a friction, or the ball, and you have the friction ring on your impact guns. But what happens is sometimes that's not enough. When this wallers out enough, then it's almost like on a pivot. And what will happen is the socket will kind of move around on the anvil, and then it will be, it wears itself loose, or it allows the socket to gain some momentum, and then it's easier to fly off the anvil on the gun. So a lot of people complain about sockets falling off. Well, if it's a new socket, you probably don't have that. But when they're worn like this and they start to wear even more, that's very likely. So Snap-on does that really badly. There's other sockets that don't. And I almost wonder if it's because Snap-on does not do anything to, I know this, I'll show you what I mean. Let me move some of my junk out the way, and I'll show you guys what specifically I'm talking about. Let's see here. So you see on these right tool sockets here, you see how they've put a little bit of a lead in for ease of installation. But I almost wonder too if that also takes some of the stress. Maybe it doesn't, I don't know. But I was wondering if perhaps that had any impact on if it had any bearing on how much that wallers out, because I noticed that my right sockets do not wear out like that. They don't deform. But when you look with the Snap-on ones, even though you can see there they've kind of got that relief cut, they still seem to wear out. I've also heard that people say with Milwaukee guns, they tend to wear out even more so, and maybe that is the case. Maybe we're reaching that point where the guns are so powerful and they're exerting so much impact force that the material is just simply not strong enough to handle it. And it'll be interesting to see if Snap-on or other tool companies, especially USA made companies, will start advertising that they're changing up their formulation, that they're improving the strength of their sockets, or some type of other marketing tool to basically say, look, these sockets are wearing out and we need to change the formulation. But these sockets were designed for 250, 300 foot-pound torque. Now we're talking upwards of 650. So what is it? Milwaukee, the mid-torque 3/8 drive, I think it's boasting like 600 foot-pounds. That's an awful lot of torque or impact torque for a like impact socket. And you have other brands such as Grey Pneumatic and Sunex that are simply chrome moly. Everybody uses the same thing. They don't seem to wear out. So I don't quite understand it yet. I'm still kind of pondering over what that possibly means. Why does Snap-on wear out so much? Is it their carbon content? I'm not really sure. And but I want to, you know, keep on asking about it, keep on inquiring, because I don't know. Even though I'm a mechanical engineer, um, I deal with metals. I'm actually in the metal industry. I still cannot account for that. There is some people in my company that I can ask that are a lot smarter than me, some PhDs who deal with characterization of various alloys. Maybe we'll reach out to them and take a couple sockets and ask them to give their feedback on that. But nonetheless, I got that 3/8 drive set, and I also picked up a 1/2 inch drive set. This set here goes from 15 up to 27 millimeters, and the only size it does not contain is a 26 millimeter, but everything else is there, so it jumps from 25 to 27. They are 1/2 inch drive, like I said. They are mid-length. They are not deep. These are mid-length sockets, and they are metric 1/2 inch drive. These have hardly ever been used based upon the condition of the socket, so that's basically a brand new set. I paid 50 bucks for this set here. I paid 60 bucks for that set there. So that's a total of $110. If you go on Snap-on's website right now and look up these two sets, they're on there. This set goes for like $260, and this set goes for like $360. So you're talking $600, over $600, I believe it is, or close to $600 worth of sockets for $100. Now, I'm not saying that everybody's going to be able to find a deal like that, but you know, they're out there, and you got to be able to negotiate and find them. And when you find a deal, you got to be able to negotiate, know what you're buying. You got to know the seller, and kind of get a feel for the seller. You walk right up to a guy, and you know, you got to be almost able to read that person on as soon as you meet them, in order to figure out if, you know, what type of offer they're more than willing to take. Sometimes you get some people that you can tell they really need the money, and whether it be, you know, for whatever reason, I'm not going to speculate, but sometimes people really need the money. Sometimes it's a good reason, sometimes it's a not so good reason. When I feel like it's for a good reason, I typically pay closer to their original asking price. I don't always pay their asking price, but I try to get closer to it, because after all, we're still making a business transaction. If I feel like they're selling something for quote unquote a bad reason, then I don't try to screw them over, but I make an offer that probably could be potentially improved. But I pretty much know where they're coming from, and so I'm like, I'm not gonna do anything more to help you out than what I feel I want to pay for these. And so that's kind of how I do it. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's my method. You can hate it, you can love it, but that's just how I do it. So we have two ratchets that I wanted to just show real quick before I package them up. These are going out to a subscriber. You know who you are. Thank you for picking up these ratchets. Hope you like them. Everything's been cleaned, serviced, ready to go, and we will be getting those shipped out later tonight. The last thing here, I'll update on these. I have a warranty claim in for Mac. I got to ship that out to Mac to get that replaced. And then these two Snap-on here are going to get replaced through Snap-on at some point in time. I think I talked to a guy who has a dealer. He's going to ask his dealer if I can get a shank for these two. And I already have two handles. So I may just buy the two shanks and put on my own handles. I think I got an orange handle, which I can replace with that. And I have to talk with Jerry to see if he's got a green handle, and I may be able to replace with that one. I've not tried to clean these up. The red looks like it'll come back around. The green, I don't know. I mean, we can try it. Maybe we'll do a video on cleaning up some of the dirtiest Snap-on handles out there and see how well those things have weathered time, how they handled, you know, some really repeated use. The last thing I got here is a set of sockets. These came from Jerry's pawn shop, I believe it is. I got these off of eBay, and these are Impact Torx. These are, like I said, they're Thorson brand, E16. I'm not going to go through every size, but I think the smallest size is like an E4, maybe E6. So E6 to E16. They are impact rated sockets, and so I paid like 15 bucks for these off of eBay, and those are going to be going in my salvage yard box, primarily because working on a BMW, I needed to have impact eTorques, and I didn't have those, and so I ended up reluctantly using my Blue Point chromes, and they did well. I'm trying to figure out what size I used. I don't know what size it was, but whatever size it was, they handled it well, but I was still very reluctant to use them. I did not want to use chrome. I think it was this one here. I think it was an E12. Yeah, it looks like an E12 was the one that I used, but I used it on an impact gun, and I was not happy about having to do that. So I was like, well, if I can find some for cheap, I'm gonna buy them. And we got an E12 right here. So future, I'll have the right socket for the job. So that's my haul today, guys. Hope you like the haul. I'm gonna get these packaged up, well, the ratchets that is, packaged up so I can get them out. I will be doing another video here coming up very soon. I'm gonna try to repair this old Armstrong wrench that I picked up on a previous haul. There's a part number, so 15/16 the side is bad, Armstrong USA. We're gonna do a weld repair to this wrench, and you guys are gonna come along for the process. So we're gonna see if we can save this old dog and get her back into service. I don't know if we can, but we're gonna do our best to do so. So if you guys have any input about how I should go about doing this, now granted, I know how to do welding. I can weld pretty decently, but I would love to get your feedback, because once again, I don't know it all. So if you guys are welders and you know how to do welds, hey, here's what we got. I'll let you guys see it one last time. There's a crack. It goes all the way through to the opposite side. I got my ideas on how I want to weld it, but I would love to know what your feedback is. So leave it in the comment section, and I will make sure that I respond to anyone and everyone who shares their insight on the welding. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me tonight, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.